Hands up! So much for following us with these daily devotions. I want to talk to you today real quick about commitment, being committed to God. Look, Christ says, pick up your cross and follow me. And while many people think that sounds like a pleasant idea, that's just so easy to do. Look, it's denying yourself. It's following Christ. It's putting God first. Oftentimes not even your own opinion or thoughts, but what does God say about it? What does God think about it? Do you seek God in the questions that you have every day for your own life? Are you following His path? And while that may seem simple and just like rainbows and puppy dogs, that sounds great, right? But following Christ takes a level of commitment and decision making. Like, I decided to follow Jesus and there's no turning back. I don't care what the world says. I know Christ exists and that He's called me to follow Him. That's the decision. That's the commitment Christ is looking for. And I want to read to you real quick in Luke 14:25 or 26 through 27. This is what it looks like. This is the dedication that it looks like. Christ is telling the multitudes who's following Him at this point in His ministry. He's got a ton of people following Him all over the place. I don't know if it's because He's feeding them or they're just the miracles or what it is, but He has a ton of people following Him. And He weeds out or thins out the herd, if you will, with this statement. In verse 26, Luke 14:26, He says, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Verse 27 says, and whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. You may say, Pastor, how's that possible? God's all about love. But what Christ is doing is this metaphor. Your comparison, your relationship to your father, to your mother, to your wife, to your children, even to yourself has got to be pale in comparison to your relationship with Jesus Christ. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, death is a part of life. People are going to pass away. People are going to move on. People's level of commitment to each other isn't quite the strongest. And God's calling us to be more committed to Him than we are anything else in our life. And this is some hard stuff to chew on. I mean, I've even had to reflect on my own self and my own life just reading this piece of scripture. This is not, like I said, puppy dogs and rainbows. This is serious. God is calling us to a level of commitment that places Him above any and everything else in our life. And we've got to be willing to live that life if we want to be His disciple. Salvation is a gift. Absolutely it is. But your discipleship costs you something. It cost all the disciples except John their life. Peter was hung upside down. Many were martyred. All of them except John were martyred. And John was kicked off to an island, kicked out of civilization and sent to an island to die. And that's where he spent the rest of his life. So I encourage you each and every single day to get up, to draw closer to Christ, to commit your life more and more to Him and your time more and more to Him. Be sold out for Jesus. I promise you the benefits will greatly outweigh the negatives. But look, I love you. I encourage you. This is a hard one, but it is so true. These are words written and read. This isn't something that I've made up. This is strictly from the Bible. Go read it for yourself. Hey, I love you. I'm praying for you. And if you have any questions, as always, just reach out. God bless you.